Hello everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back to Blonde Vibrations. Oh, let's introduce ourselves too. I'm Eliz.
I'm Lily-Emma.
And today we are tuning in with Josie Man.
Oh
Thank you. For full disclosure, we have been talking a little bit already. So now it almost feels weird to tell you that we plan to tell you that we have a bit of a friend crush on you. Because we actually do. So thank you so much for coming and speaking to us.
It is really weird because before tuning in was an idea, we'd already kind of thought of you as a guest, which is weird considering it was like kind of like a mutual approach.
Yeah.
But when we were thinking, we were like female interview series, we had an interview, we were like, Josie would just be perfect for this. So it means a lot that you're here. And this is actually really perfect timing, I feel, to speak to you as we approach Pisces season.
Yeah, you know I'm a Pisces.
Yes. So I'm actually also a Pisces.
Oh yeah,
so
I was
I'm
going to
really,
ask both of your star signs.
Yeah, I'm really getting the Pisces
Yeah, I'm
energy.
getting Pisces. What are you?
What do you think I am?
Yeah, I felt like you were checking that.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure I know.
Are you a water sign?
No.
No. So you're not a water sign. Sagittarius? Gemini?
No.
I'm going for
I'll put you out of your misery. I am a Taurus,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
going to say that.
Yeah, I do have the septum piercing in there.
So we kind of wanted to ask to warm up what it means to be a Pisces for you. Like, what do you feel like you associate with being a Pisces?
I'm really sensitive and I'm really I live in like a dream world. So it's a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I'm quite a gentle person. I think I resonate with being a Pisces a lot. I'm
feel
very
that.
emotional. I'm like emotional. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Pisces really feel like Pisces.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, every time I speak to someone and they're like, I'm a Pisces, I'm like, I can tell.
Yeah.
And I feel that. Like, I feel
For
very
sure.
strongly about
Are you a March or February?
March.
Oh, what date?
4th.
Oh, nice.
What year?
19th. So I'm like right at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't know this, but you're a lot like my mum, who is also a Pisces.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I really
They've got
see.
a vibe to them, haven't
Yeah,
they?
there's like maybe a week in between you guys, and it's just really similar.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Love a Pisces.
I just had to ask. I was like,
Yeah.
we're going into Pisces season. I need to speak to you about this.
Something that we've also noticed online is your close relationship with your sisters.
Yeah.
You're very clearly compatible, regardless of what your star signs are.
Yeah.
Do you have compatible star signs with them? Do
Yeah,
you know?
so my older sister is a Scorpio, and then my two little sisters are twins. They're Libras, so we gel well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel your friendship with your sisters make you who you are?
I think it just adds to who I am because I'm such like a family unit person. Like everything is to do with my family, so it makes me think about like, I don't know, I'm just a family orientated person. I can't imagine being like, oh, I'm doing this thing and my family aren't involved. Like I think about us all together.
Yeah.
So I think that's how, yeah.
Your sister's also creative. Like, do you feel like you've got like creative genes in your family?
Yeah, so my older sister does hair and makeup for like film and loads of other things. But then my two little sisters work at my dad's Chinese supermarket.
Really?
So they don't have like office jobs, but they're still creative in other ways. But my older sister definitely is like really creative person, yeah.
But sometimes it's not about like the career job you have.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing, it's not necessarily creative, but it's things like outside of it as well.
Exactly,
And you
yeah.
can still have that.
Yeah.
And do you think has your cultural experience and upbringing shaped or influenced your songwriting? Like, do you think it's important to carry like your heritage with weight with you, especially
100%.
like as you are starting to reach like wider audiences?
Yeah, 100%. I think because it's a part of me, it just feels natural to like show parts of my culture and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want it to like die out. I want to like build it and bring it along with me. And I think being half English and half Chinese, it's a nice balance put together. I think it would feel weird not to incorporate it. It'd just be like, oh, I'm trying to like push it to the side. So it is important. And also because that's to do with my family as well. It just flows kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we talk a lot about uniqueness on the podcast and kind of finding your niche. And I think that is such an easy way for people to do that.
Yeah.
It's because like that is part of you, and why would you shy away from that? Because that's what makes you you.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
Yeah. I don't think I could not. But then there's also ways that I don't like overly like just talk about Chinese culture, because it's an English one mixed together as well. And I wouldn't want to like be like, oh, like I'm trying to like profit off being Chinese.
Yeah.
But it's part of me, and it like I grew up very much around it, and it's like part of our household. So yeah, it's important. And when I was with a label, it was like sometimes I felt like maybe they were pushing it too much.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, like she's this as well, and it was like I needed to find the balance of like the both.
Yeah.
So.
Because you don't want it just to become like a buzzword.
Exactly.
Like that feels very insincere, and that kind of goes against. I don't want to get into it too much, but it kind of feels like it goes against you as a person.
Exactly. And also because I think I look less Chinese, people could be like, what is she doing? Like, she's got bright blonde hair. So yeah, it's just about like figuring out what's appropriate as well. Like, so yeah.
It's also nice for like fans, if they are that same sort of like culture, to see it out there in the world.
Yeah, I've had that quite a lot. It's nice. And also they'll be like, so basically my surname is Man, obviously, and it's it originates from like the village that we're from in Hong Kong. So anyone that has the surname Man, we're basically like somehow related. So the amount of people that have been like, oh, like my surname's Man, and it's just mad that like we can connect with people, and they can like, and they're like doing creative things as well. So it's nice.
Like a magical surname of creativity.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm a man.
And while we're talking about identity and fan bases, and also we were talking about social media before we started recording, you shared online about kind of having the motivation to promote online, and we were just kind of saying about algorithms and things like that. Do you feel like you found a way that you can commit to promoting music in a world that is so concerned with online media, or do you feel like it's not quite possible to keep that identity and still promote online?
I think you can, and that's what I try to do. It's just hard to have the motivation to do it. But I think it always works best, and if you're comfortable with doing something, then it like shows. So, but it is hard, and like the algorithm will really mug you off and be like, you worked hard on something, then it's like not doing the way you wanted to. But it will always reach someone. I always think if there's one person watching, then it's better than zero. So I think, yeah, you just have to like keep being like, I'm doing this for me, and I'm going to be me. Because sometimes like doing things that other people have done doesn't work for you. So it's not like, oh, this video's gone viral, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually work like that. So I think just trying to be like, keep going. I think just keep going is the only thing that I try and do.
You're so speaking our language with that. Like I feel like that is so how we feel about.
It's always the Lady Gaga, like it's just one person in the room to see you for who you are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like also, it's so fast paced anyway that it doesn't really mean anything sometimes. So.
Have you seen that trend at the moment? So this is getting off topic, but have you seen that trend at the moment of people being like, "Oh, you'll be upset that you only get like 1,000 views, but think about 1,000 people,
in a room,
about 100 people."
Yeah.
You do think that, and I think we're guilty of it as well. You know, if a video only gets like 100 views, it's like, oh god, like only 100. Like, when am I going to get viral? It's like that's 100 people like sitting down and like listening to a podcast or listening to your music, and that has like still cool. But I think there's such a nature of just like greed with numbers and
stuff. You always want more.
Yeah. But I feel like that is something that you, not to like pick you up, but you have really well in that you still manage to promote what you do, but also share what you want to share.
Yeah, thank you.
And it does seem like
I think it's really
important.
And also like to speak about things that are important to you as well, just to like share, because you find that like you can always resonate with someone, and I think that's like the human experience of like communicating with people. So I don't, the views thing is really like, I wish it wasn't, you couldn't see it, because it's always like, oh, what is someone else going to think? Oh, I posted this, is someone else going to think it's not doing well? And it's when you say it out loud, it's so stupid, like because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, as soon as you log off, it's done. Like you can't see that anymore. It's like it's not really
real.
there.
Yeah. So I think that's why it's just like sometimes we have to be like, this is so stupid. It's frying our brains. Yeah,
and it's the idea of the aftermath of making something rather than the process of making something.
Yeah.
It's also weird when you're in like creative practices being so concerned with what will happen afterwards, but like the whole fun part is
doing it.
Yeah.
For sure.
We've asked a question before to Kate, And because I feel like you guys have really similar energies in like sweetness and just like really like pure and like almost like infectiously happy. Like when we watched you live, we were just sat there like, oh, like, oh
I was
my
so.
God.
Is that when I was really ill?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
You
was
still
so
did really
hard.
well.
I was just like.
Even then, like we were just there, we were like, oh my gosh. And I guess also in the sense of talking about online creation and just the culture around online worlds and also the music industry, how do you feel like you safeguard that really like positive, like happy side of you when there is so much negative, unfortunately, online and also in the music industry?
I think you can be like overly too positive to the point where it makes people question like, is their life good? So I always make sure that like, if things aren't good, then I'll also share that as well, but also in a positive light of like, if you're going through something, I am as well. So like, don't worry. Like what you see online is not real. So I think it's also important to like not show the good things. Because, well, not show them, but like don't overlap, like, oh, like, this is the best time, like my life is like amazing. Because no one has like an amazing life all the time. And I think it's important to like, especially online, to not portray that you have a perfect life.
Yeah.
Because I think it can like affect people, because it's not, like again, it's not real.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah. But also, when I do feel positive, I want to share it with people. So I try and do that as well. It's just, I think when I first started as well, I was so naive to the industry and I was like really positive, like, woo, and then it all came crashing down. Then I was like, I have nothing good to say.
Yeah.
And then you overthink like, oh, I am a positive person, but I don't have any positive things right now. So then you get in your head about that. So yeah, I think honestly, social media is really confusing. It can like, it's really confusing to navigate.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you don't want to be fake on there. It's hard.
Do you know who I think, this is a very random comparison, but Molly May does a really good job of
Molly
showing both sides to things. Like, she's very real and yes, I'm a millionaire and I am literally loaded more than you will ever know, but there's still bad days and she shows it so like transparent. It really brings her back down to earth. I think like you do a good job at that. And I also think we really try and do that as well with the podcast. It's like, it's not like when we do cuts and things like that, if something goes wrong, like we'll just roll with it. You just kind of have to.
It's just life, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's just that balance between a highlight reel, because you want to show your successes.
Yeah, of course.
So you don't want to feed into, I feel like we're always talking at the moment about like grind mindset. And it's like, we really don't want to feed into that, but at the same time, how do you then balance being like, this is some really cool stuff I'm doing, and I'm not trying to say you need to be in the studio all day, every day, but like here I am in a studio and it's going well.
Yeah, for sure. It's so hard to get the balance.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know, I'd love social media to like break for like a day and like no one can go on it. But then we all need it kind of, so I don't in the same.
Yeah, and think about TikTok going away in
my God,
America, like the uproar in that. If that happened to us with no like pre-notice, we'd be like, wait, what?
Well, my phone's not working, and then like checking, so is your TikTok working?
And then we were sat here just like 10 minutes ago being like, oh, TikTok, it's so annoying to post, and then here we are like, oh, like if it went down, I'd be going on every app being like, anyone else? Like calling everyone, being like, can you get on TikTok?
No, definitely.
We hate to say how much like we rely on TikTok sometimes. And we're so emotionally like attached to the people we see on there.
It's mad, isn't it?
Our favourite internet monkey died this week. And that broke our hearts.
Oh,
It's like we just need to log off for a sec.
Yeah, I saw something the other day that my friend posted, and it was like, we're seeing too much. Like, we're, as human beings, we're not supposed to be seeing as much as we see online. Like, you're not supposed to see that many faces or know about that many things.
Yeah.
It usually, like, obviously we've like progressed, but it would only be like your immediate, like what's around you. But because we can see everything, that's why I feel like life feels a bit darker, because we know more. And it's like, I was just like, well, that's food for thought.
We've said it recently about just the amount of news that you see, and you can't turn away to what's going on in the world and the news and things like that. But when you're getting notifications through, it's like, I wasn't in that space to actually see what's coming in.
Receive it, for sure. My boyfriend's like, turn all your notifications off. And it has actually really helped, because then you choose when you look at things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a healthier way, because otherwise it's just like people coming at you.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be like, just turn your phone off. And it's like, but I don't want to turn off everything.
Yeah, I'm like, what if my mum's trying to call me? It's an emergency.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't want to delete Instagram, because what if someone tries to contact me?
Yeah.
But it is, I do think notifications is a big part of it, because even I don't know if you guys did this, but like it must have been like a couple years ago. There was a trend of like take TikTok off your home screen, or like find it like hard to get to it.
Yeah.
So that like when you actually want to do it, you're making an effort to
And
go
it's
and
long,
find it.
yeah.
You're not just doing it like, oh, I've got to spend a minute, let me just open it.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And it'll be like TikTok, okay, Instagram, like switching between.
Yeah.
And it's like you want to actually do it with purpose rather than just like, oh.
It's instinctual, because
It's
even
so bad.
I used to have, as we discussed earlier, really bad storage on my phone. And we'd go to concerts and I'd have to offload everything. And I would do it, and then we'd be stood there in the crowd, and just instinctually I'd press it and it would start re-downloading it. And I'd be like, I did it again.
And like you're so proud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, why am I going on TikTok?
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, now I have to wait for it to download to delete. And then literally 2 minutes later, I'd be like, I did it again. It's re-downloading. Like, why is this
so
happening?
bad, isn't it?
It's scary.
It's scary.
So how would you turn around, and I'm sorry for the pun on this, one of those days, like how do you take a negative and turn it into a positive, like in day to day?
Ooh. I think I like to make my mind quiet, so I like meditate, or even just like breathing for a bit. Or like, have you tried EFT tapping? It's like emotional freedom tapping.
No.
So basically, if you have like an issue, like not an issue, like a thing that's on your mind, you basically like clear it out of your like meridian. I think it's meridian. And it just helps like move emotions out. So that helps me a lot. Or I'll just have a bad day and be like, today I'm going to have a bad day. And then it takes pressure of having a bad day. And then I'll like get a coffee and go for a little walk. I love walking.
I love
Yeah.
walking. That was one of my ins for 2025.
I
Because
love walking.
It sounds so silly, but we started going on more walks. And we'd like walk around like Victoria Park, and I'd be like, I just love fresh air.
I know, it's
and
the
I was like,
best.
this is so fun. And we'd be walking home, and I'd be like, I'm just really enjoying this.
Yeah.
And then I'd go to work, and like I'd be put on like walking around tasks, and I'd come back, and I'd be like, no, I love doing all this flying because like, the fresh air is so crisp, and and everyone was like, you're actually being sarcastic, and I was like, no, this is so nice. Like, and even the other day we were walking. And we were like, it's just so nice because it's just something your body does.
Yeah.
And you just think like, I'm going to walk now. And
Yes,
you
just
do
get
it.
It's a privilege to walk.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And it just feels so, I'm so glad you said that. I feel
Yeah.
so passionate about
No,
walking.
it really does clear your head. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's because you're exercising and it like releases something, but I love, especially when it's like, you know, when it's cold but the sun's out.
Yeah.
Just like, get me out.
Well, we had this weird epiphany moment where we were like, why is walking a summer activity? Because we get to places and then we're sweaty and gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it like a nice sunny summer's walk?
Yeah.
I want to be walking in like a big coat. And then
Yeah.
like,
A nice
sit
warm
and,
coffee.
Like,
Oh, and just be cozy, yeah.
Yeah, but everyone always says, oh yeah, I don't go on many walks at the moment because it's like so cold and dark.
But it actually does help when
Yeah.
it is like that, just getting outside. Even though it's not sunny, it's like better than nothing.
I think we even take it to like, we almost sound sarcastic, so we'll get to, we like walking around Victoria Park, we'll get there and be like, feeling so good to just be walking right now.
Yeah.
It's like, it sounds so insincere, but like
Yeah.
we genuinely do mean it.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
I wasn't expecting such a big portion of this interview to be talking about like walking.
Yeah, I love it. I honestly, especially when you've got like a pair of comfy shoes. Like, they don't even have to be walking shoes, but just like comfy shoes that you can walk in.
Yeah.
Because these, I used to like go walking in shoes like this, and I'd be like, oh, my back really hurts.
Yeah.
And then I got some like nice trainers, and I was like, I
Yeah.
love my life.
And it is nice as well because like it is free.
Yeah,
like, Although
exactly.
we can't really, because like we have to go and get just a little coffee
A
or just a little
coffee,
treat.
it does add up, yeah.
But in theory, it's a free thing to do, so it is nice. So, do you write with themes of self-love and acceptance purely to uplift yourself, with raising listeners' confidence just being like a little side effect, or is the audience at the forefront of your mind when you're writing?
I think it's a mixture of both. If I feel something, I'm like, will someone else feel like this? Because also, sometimes when you do write, you'll be really into it, but because no one else resonates with it, sometimes like, okay, maybe I won't add that part. So I think it's a mixture of both, knowing that I'm sure someone will feel like that. And I think they do. But yeah.
So do you think it's quite safe to say, like, I don't know if it's going to feel big-headed for you to say it, but like mutually beneficial in the sense of both like you and people listening, or do you think it's...
No, I think it is definitely more for the listeners. But then sometimes I will write a song and I'm like, oof, that cuts me deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's more for the listeners, but there is an element of it is coming from the way that I feel. Yeah.
I feel like we're going back to walking and like ins and outs in 2025 because we did watch your ins and outs, which we love. We were like,
with the iPad, we love that.
we were there, we were like, we have no idea where this is going, but I love it. I want to see more of this. Like, I love it. And we even like tried doing some little moving around this morning, and she, like you saw, we were like, move around, like release the tension.
We had like Dochi playing, and we were like, just get it out.
But we really liked how you included kindness because that was also kind of a shared on ours, and we were thinking in the sense of more like competitiveness, you know, stuff like that. So we were like, oh yeah, kindness, like we feel that. Could you, maybe for people who haven't seen your ins and outs, tell us a bit more about how you think people could be more kind and why that should be this year?
I think, I don't know if it's because people are just more sad. So it's, because when you do feel like down, it is hard to be nice. But I just feel like people, it's not in their, like, at the front of them to be nice to people. Like sometimes you'll go somewhere, like to an event or something, and people like, their whole thing is that like, they're like really like, not very nice. And I don't think that's like a cool thing to be. I don't think it's nice to like make people feel uncomfortable or like, even if you're in a new environment. So I started a new job somewhere and the environment was just like not nice. And I was thinking if that was me and someone was starting somewhere new, I would not act that way and I would be really like welcoming and nice. So it's small things like that where it's like just act the way that you would like to be treated, I think always. Especially in like new environments and stuff, like make people feel comfortable and just being nice to people. I think it really like dipped out. I don't know why I feel like that, but I just feel like people just like being a mean girl. And I don't like that. I think it's mean.
I think like the environment can change everything and how everyone's treating each other, because we've definitely been at events and things before where people haven't really treated us the kindest, and we're like, well, why though? Like, literally, why not? And even like previous jobs, the job isn't fun, but if everyone's nice to each other, it lightens the load a little bit. It makes things a little bit easier for everyone.
100%. Yeah, I left the job, so I was like, I don't know. I don't.
It's
being mean to me.
I wonder if there is something in like this curve of kind of mean girl started because of almost like an anti-femininity. Like you can't be bubbly and friendly. You need to be really like
stern.
And it also it's kind of partially spoiling like an upcoming episode that we're thinking of. But it's almost like it feels like you have to be like really like masculine and like harsh to actually be successful. But it's why, because we had it a lot, especially when we first started. We would go to like festivals and people wouldn't take us seriously because we'd turn up in little like festival outfits. We're like, okay, we're here to interview now. And people just wouldn't take it seriously, and it'd be women not taking it seriously. And it's
that's like, the worst when it's women because you're like, come on, I thought we were in this together.
Yeah, we should really get each other right now.
But I think it is because other girls feel like they have to be really like harsh and cold because that's how those higher up would normally men are.
I do think it is definitely that, and it's just like, let's drop it. It's
I think the tides is kind of turning.
And
I think we were saying, and I think it was actually another tuning in episode, we were saying about how it feels like music industry and creativity is kind of becoming a bit more feminine in the sense of obviously like more female artists, but also in like there's more like worlds being created by artists, and there's such attention to detail that is innately feminine, and it does feel like kind of the trends are starting to feed into that. So hopefully kindness also goes with that bubbliness.
Because there are loads of kind people, but they're also just like mean, like bitches. And I'm just like, the bitchy vibe. You know, you can always like pick up on it as well. And it's just like,
why?
Yeah, what did I do or say or like, I don't like that kind of thing.
I don't think people who are mean are happy in it.
No.
Like it's not a reflection of like you're not happy. Because if you were happy, you'd be really nice to everyone.
It's an odd one. But also like when people just think that they can speak to you in a way that's just like that they're below you, and it's just like I will never. Like if I saw that in front of my eyes, I'd be like, hey, come on, that's really rude.
I don't know if this is controversial, but when we watch Sex and the City, I feel like Carrie always talks to the others. Well,
and people keep telling
I'm going to put something in your mind here.
No, I need to watch it,
I feel like everyone's rewatching it at the minute. Carrie sometimes talks to the other girls like they're below her. And I watched this video recently and it was like the hierarchy where, and I hope you do watch it so you can see if this is right in your head, but Carrie speaks to Charlotte above her because she can't be Charlotte, but she speaks to Miranda.
There
like
are
she's
people
below
like that
her.
in real life, for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's like you can be in the same friendship group and have, like, you're looking at people like there's a hierarchy.
It's
Why?
really strange, yeah.
I think creativity's unfortunately really become that. And we've like recently had to cut a few people out because you could tell that once they hit a certain point of followers or a certain point of opportunities, that they just didn't see us as equals. And it would kind of be like, hey, like we never treated you like that when you got started. And just because like you've in theory overtaken us, like why do you now need to start treating us?
Oh no.
So I know.
Because everyone starts in the same place. And also, a lot of the time when you do like feel like you're doing something, like whatever success is, because it's different for everyone, but you know that it's hard to get there, so like you have to remember like that it's hard, and to like not be like, well, I'm better than you now.
And it's not linear.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
there could be times in which people are better than you, and that's okay, but there might be times in which we're better than you. Like, it's just like,
and also it's like opinion based as well, like someone it doesn't, like followers and stuff doesn't, I like so strongly believe this, it like doesn't define like how good you are at something. Like some of my favourite artists, they wouldn't be seen as like huge, but like they're amazing, so it doesn't like, because there are some people that have like millions of followers and millions of whatever, and they're not that good. It's just like
the luck of the draw. It just happens. You don't have to treat other people like you're below them. Like I think we're really good interviewers, to be honest. I think we get like a nice connection with people.
I was going to say you've got really you've got good like English, like you use big words. Like you said something like inadequately, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't be able to say that.
Like, I think we're good, but like there's some people who are famous interviewers. Like, we're not worse than them just because we have less followers and experience. Like we're still good. Like we're all equal as human beings. Like,
exactly.
even if you're further along in your trade, it doesn't mean that we're worse.
100%.
I love that so much.
No, it's so true though.
Just have to put a bit of self-love in.
Yeah. It's a place for it. I feel like if you can do it anywhere, it's on this series where you can just be like, you know what, I'm actually really good at this.
I think it's also really important to like say that from time to time. Obviously not like I'm better than everyone, like, but like being like, oh no, like I'm actually really good at what I do, and then just that's it. Like that's so fine to say. Because also, if you don't say you're good at it, then you're basically saying that you're not good at it, and then you're just being like putting yourself down. So.
And that's going to be reflected in the work, because if you're not putting your all in because you think you're good, it's probably not going to be as good as what it could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're in full send.
I feel like we need to like find a way to put like a pun in here of like stopping and smelling the flowers. It feels like every time we do an instalment of this, we're always like, let's take a moment and stop and like appreciate one another. And I feel like it's happening too often.
Yeah. So I know we did talk, we spoke about it before we started recording.
We're like the ultimate mean girls here. We're like, we've actually already spoken about it.
You don't know about it. But we couldn't sit down with you and not mention your tattoos. And also a lot of your fans did like input questions about them.
Cool.
So firstly, how do they allow you to express yourself?
Ooh, I think you can just decorate your body. And then I can't wait till I'm like really old with tattoos as well, because it's just like a memory kind of thing. But yeah, I can't imagine I don't know, I just feel like they're a part of me, and I just love, like, they excite me. So
When did you get your first one?
I think I was 18. And I think, I can't remember, maybe it was like near my birthday or something. And then from then on I like kept getting like small secret ones. And then I was just like, oh, I can't hide this anymore.
Let's take it.
Yeah,
everywhere.
So when you get that first big noticeable one, you're like,
that
maybe
looks good.
I'm a tattoo person now. And I always had it where I'd go in and they'd explain everything, like all of the care, but then the first time I go in, they'd be like, you know it.
Yeah, and then you're like,
am I a tattoo person?
I do know.
And what's your favourite tattoo, and what advice would you have for people wanting to get them?
Ooh, I don't know if I've got a favourite. I literally love them all.
That's really mean to ask, because I don't think you can answer that.
Whatever the latest one is.
Yeah,
I'm like,
to be fair, my latest one that I got on my leg, I love that one. But I think some people really they like to think about it. So it depends on what type of person you are. If you know that you'll change your mind, then it's good to think about it. But I'm really impulsive, so I'll literally go after this if I saw something, and then just get it, and then not even regret it once. But I think you have to make sure you're getting it from a good person, and like you really do get what you pay for. So in that way, I'm like careful about who I go to, but design-wise, I'm like, I will have that right now. I love it, and then I'll just love it.
I had it this one time where, and this is no shade to them at all because I actually really do love it, but it was what's the word? Not an intern. What's the apprentice?
Oh,
yeah.
I've had a bad time.
And it was all fine, but I was like laying on my side, and then they were obviously doing it, and then they went, "Oh, I'm not sure I did that right."
Oh
and I was
my
like,
God,
in that
no.
moment, I hadn't considered because it was free as well. I hadn't
Oh,
considered
no.
anything, and in that moment, I was like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
You snap
I've
out
done
of
that.
it.
Yeah.
And then luckily they came over and was like, "Oh no, it's fine, you can carry on." I was like, "Well, good."
Oh my
'cause
God.
now
What would happen
and,
if you?
And I'd signed my life away at that point, and it was free. So what could
Oh
I
my
really
God.
do?
What, did it turn out fine in the end?
Yeah, and it was really small as well,
Yeah.
so it was like really it could get covered
Yeah.
if need be. But I really like it.
Oh, good. That's good.
Although, like,
Although.
I can't say anything so scared I'm gonna like jeopardize who they are. So I'm gonna go like quiet in the corner.
I will say, firstly, I love the tattoo, but I will say which one it is because it's like a bit of barbed wire, so it's actually quite
Cute,
small.
love it, yeah.
Everyone thinks it's the Stussy logo all the time. Like, people always look at me and say, "You got Stussy." I'm like,
No.
"What? What do you mean?"
I do love a bit of barbed wire tattoo. Just a cute one.
I think I'd get more, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And while we're talking about like aesthetics and how you present yourself, I feel like we come to every interview as something really random that's just been like conjured up in the planning process. But we were thinking about how some people look like specific music or albums, and then we just got kind of down a rabbit hole of thinking about like associating album to person.
Yeah, I feel like we need to like put in some examples.
Yeah.
I think Lily Emma dresses like Harry's House by Harry
Oh,
Styles.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not today. I don't know.
Not today though.
I'm not sure what happened today, but usually I feel like I dress like Snow Angel by Renee Rapp.
Oh, yeah.
And then we were also thinking who looks like their own music. Claro looks like her own music.
Yeah, for sure.
Remy Wolf looks like her own music.
Dominic Fike looks like Remy Wolf's music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And Billy doesn't look like her own music, but Phineas looks like
Yeah,
some
like
of Billy's music.
yeah, 100%.
So I guess the question is like, and this is really putting you on the spot, but do you feel like you can draw an association with yourself?
What, with my own music?
Or anyone else's?
I'm not sure. I think because I don't know what I look, as in like you, because, how do I explain it? Like we can't look at, I don't know how to explain. Like, I can look at you, but you can't look like at you right now.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I can't really put a.
We should have pre-planned.
Yeah.
Actually, here's one we had earlier.
I don't know. Maybe like High School Musical. 2. Sharpay Evans.
Yeah. Make a difference. Like,
Yeah.
I can picture like, yeah, I think that's
Now that you've opened it up to musicals and things
Yeah.
like that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
a whole new world. I don't know if it's the pink, but I'm also seeing like Divine Feminine Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I was thinking, I was like, how do I say this in a way that's not calling you like the divine woman?
It's not a bad
Divine
thing to be
being.
called. I suppose in that sense, you also kind of look like Eternal Sunshine.
No,
Yeah.
I do see that.
Yeah.
Well, we've answered it for you.
It actually isn't a question, we're just going to hear
Yeah. And speak.
yell albums at you.
I feel like we could do this forever though. Like we'll say something and then it will lead on to us adding on to something until we just forget.
Yeah.
Like the other day, this is so random. The other day we were talking about James Bay.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a song with John Batiste, and we were like, oh, they're both JB initials.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'd just be like, oh, Justin Bieber.
I love
and then
Justin Bieber.
and then we'd be like, John B from Outer Banks. And then it was
How to bank.
oh, it's this show that we got
Starkey.
Madeline Klein.
No,
God, we're just
Oh.
going to look at you.
no
Oh,
idea.
it's
Have you seen Paddington in Peru?
No. What, Paddington Bear?
yeah. Weirdly, okay, Outer
Oh,
Banks.
I need to know, yeah.
How do I explain Outer Banks? It's kind of mystery, actiony-ish, but there's
Oh,
romance because
okay.
we're not into action shows,
Yeah,
but
what
we
kind
like
of shows
it.
are you into?
We've kind of gone along the like teen romance sort of. We liked Heartstopper.
Oh, I
and
loved that. That was wholesome.
But we also really liked Sex Lives with College Girls.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that, but I've seen it, but not watched it.
We're currently watching Orange is the New Black.
I think I started watching that like years ago. and then I can't really remember what it was about.
You know
I
what
did the same
can't
thing.
wait for? The Summer I Turned Pretty.
That's
something
nice.
got-
Album name.
Yeah.
Well, the moment you said Heartstopper, I was like, oh my god, you need to go on the Heartstopper soundtrack. I was like, yes, I need to see that.
I feel like we've just done a million tangents,
Yeah.
starting from John B.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To Paddington now that we never
Oh.
explained.
Weirdly, so we went to see Paddington in Peru a few months ago, and we were watching him. We were like, this is just like the most recent season of Outer Banks that we just finished, the day before.
Oh.
So we made a TikTok, and we were like, did anyone think that was the same plot? 'Cause
Yeah.
we thought we were going crazy.
Yeah.
So many people.
Is it
were
got like the
saying-
same director or something?
I don't think so. It's the plot.
That's random, isn't
Yeah.
The plot might come from like some ancient story that's probably actually just like being replicated.
Yeah.
Like real
probably
history.
Not actually like that much of a coincidence. It's probably more like they took inspiration from this like ancient text.
Yeah.
You know, but to us,
It was the same
No,
thing.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And I'm glad you
interesting.
can match our like random pairing up of things. I love that.
What are you watching at the minute?
Love Island All Stars.
Yes, same.
Oh, you are? I'm
Yeah.
so glad because
Who are your
I
winners?
asked people and they're like, no, that's brain rotting.
It's
And I'm
almost
like,
become
don't
like
I know.
It's almost become like old school.
I know, I'm watching it religiously every night.
Yeah.
The
I
social study.
I love, yeah, because also because I'm nothing like anyone in there. They're intriguing to me because I'm like, you are just people that I've never like encountered in my life. But I don't know who I like in there. I'm trying to think. I can't even remember who's in there now.
Got Gabby and Casey.
Oh, yeah.
Luca and Grace. Yeah.
I don't know if I actually really like any of the couples too much. I'm trying to think.
I like Sammy and
Oh, and Elma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're cute. I like them. Actually, probably out of all of them, those two.
Yeah.
But who was it? I think Grace is a bit mean.
do you?
Yeah, I didn't like the way she was like telling people to shut the fuck up. I was like, that's not very nice.
Going back to the kindness.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, come on.
But did you watch?
To put you on like a projection. And
Yeah.
Be like, guys, everyone just be kind
Be
to one
nice.
another.
Treat people with kindness.
Yeah. I think I didn't like Ronnie in the other one, but I don't think he's as bad this time.
I don't
Yeah.
actually believe he's in love.
I do
I
think he
do.
loved her. I quite like that.
saw him like soften.
Yeah.
as she came in.
Yeah, and he's
I
like openly being like, I love you. And I'm like, I love people that just like openly love people.
And we always say like, you can always see in people's eyes when you've got
Yeah.
like love eyes when
Yeah,
they're talking to someone.
for
You
sure.
can't- that's the bit you can't fake.
Yeah.
You can say a lot of things, but it's in the eyes.
He
And-
does love her, doesn't he?
Yeah, and they're at the stage now where I'm seeing love in a lot of their eyes. They're just not saying
Yeah.
it. Like I think.
Maybe they'll win. I don't know if they will. I don't know if people.
Well, they were just up for elimination.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
then they
tonight.
weren't eliminated.
Is that happening tonight? That episode? We see who leaves.
Did you watch it last night?
Did I watch it last night?
Because we know who left.
Wait, did I? Wait, did I
Did you
watch
miss
it?
last night?
No.
We're gonna stop.
Oh, no.
I think I was on my computer. I was, oh no, sorry, Tina and Charlie.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got scared
I
when
knew
I
they were
said
going
it, and I was
to
like,
leave. Yeah, no, I knew they were going to leave.
but there is a. Oh no, this questions. This is by the time this comes out this weekend, like things will all be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have to predict it now, though, who is winning?
Ooh.
And we can see if you're right.
Wait, so who's in it now? Luca and Grace.
Casey and Gabby, Elma and Sammy, Ekin and Curtis.
I don't think they're going to win, Ekin and Curtis.
Is that who just says it?
And Catherine and Omar.
Oh yeah.
I think Ronnie and Harriet might win. No, I don't
Interesting.
know. Or Grace and Luca.
I feel like they're couples with big characters.
Yeah.
That I feel like they pull a lot of those.
Yes.
This is actually a weirdly good segue.
So we're going to go on to the agony aunt section, and they're directly from your fans.
Cute.
I think they are anonymous.
Okay.
Yes, a few of them are, so that's fine.
Cool.
We're not going to say
Yeah.
who you are.
Everyone at home like trembling.
And this has been really popular with like other people on the show as well. They really enjoy this bit.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like everyone kind of enjoys putting like the agony aunt hat on for a
Yeah.
little bit just to trial it out.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been with my boyfriend for 6 months, and almost every week his ex is mentioned. A few times by him, but usually it's his family or friends. Someone will accidentally call me her name. It's not malicious,
Yeah.
but I have a hard time as my ex cheated on me with his ex. and she used to live with his family, and I keep comparing myself to her, and it's giving me bad compulsive thoughts.
Yeah.
Any advice?
Firstly, don't compare yourself because you're not the same person and you don't need to do that. But also, I think the first thing that I would do would be like, can you stop doing that? Like, make it a thing of like, let them know that you have picked up on it and it's making you upset. And if it keeps happening, just be like, I would have to break up with them. Because I would be like, stop. Like, I think because I'm like, if I'm in love with someone or if I'm in a relationship, I've been with my boyfriend for like 7 years. So I'm like a dedicated wifey. So I'd be like, can you respect me enough to like acknowledge that I am me and I'm not someone else? And then I'd also be like, are you in love with her?
And sometimes it takes acknowledging it.
Yeah. Just if you don't, I think just say that it makes you feel a certain way, and then I'm sure that they'll understand and they'll like go out of their way to like not do that. Because also if it's happening more than once, it's kind of like, how's this happening more than once?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that could like? I'm so sorry to whoever put this in.
Yeah, sorry. Actually, I hope it's not.
Happily, but like, do you think that someone could consistently say the wrong name and then not be subconscious there being like, oh, you're thinking about her? Or do you think it actually can just be random? Like,
I think it can be like a couple of times. Like, oh God, sorry. Like, but then because I'm like I would overthink and I'd be like, I don't know. I would just feel a bit uncomfortable with being like, that's not my name.
Because also, you're not in the wrong for bringing it up. Like,
Yeah.
It's clearly on your mind, and it's better to just say it and be like, just checking. There's nothing like. I would actually. This isn't advice that I'm giving to the person, but I would want to be like, does your family prefer her?
Yeah, no, that's
like,
exactly what I was about to say.
Like, why is this?
why?
Yeah.
Like, why do they prefer her? Is there something that like she was doing?
Because also you don't want to be in a place where people are like making you feel like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
I think whenever you're in that position and you've like been like, oh, can you not do that? And it keeps happening. That's when you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to like leave now.
Yeah.
I would be really upset with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And also it's the feeling of like, it's just a bit like, I don't know, it would make me feel good about myself. So I get that it makes you feel like you would compare yourself, because I would do the exact same.
Yeah.
I think to a certain point, I would almost expect like after you acknowledge it.
Yeah.
I would also kind of like expect the boyfriend to say something to the family.
Oh my
Be like,
God,
You
yeah.
actually need to like make an effort to
Yeah,
not do that, because
yeah.
that shows like that
they
he's on your side.
Exactly,
And that is
yeah.
a vital part of this, I feel.
Yeah, because also if that happened to me, I'd be like, or if it like my mum or someone or like my dad said it, I'd be like mortified. I'd be like, oh my God, like, and if it kept happening, I'd be like, stop.
Yeah, I feel like I also would. It wouldn't take the partner being like, why did they keep doing it? I would have been like, that is so embarrassing.
It is
like, you can't do that again.
Yeah, I
And
would
they're
feel
not together for a
embarrassed.
reason.
Yeah.
You broke up.
Yeah.
There would have been a reason behind it.
Yeah, it's
probably not that they're going to cheat on you like your ex
No.
did. Like, in the most like blunt terms, they're not your ex.
yeah.
You're just, it's not big shoes to fill, it's just what people are used to, and now
Yeah.
you're something else, and they just have to get used to a new name and situation.
But I do feel like people, like it's not hard to remember someone's name and like remember that it's not, because also you wouldn't look at her and be like, oh, that's this person, because they're different.
Yeah.
I don't know, I would just be like, can you remember my name? That's all.
It's
I wouldn't
kind of
appreciate
like
it.
human decency.
Bare minimum.
It's just it's just like common like
just know my name.
interaction.
Yeah.
It's no brainer. Like you would just remember.
I wonder if they have similar names, maybe.
Maybe,
or
yeah.
like same coloured hair.
But if you can't remember the name, just don't say it. You know, like if you're at the dinner table, do you mind passing me that? You don't have to be
Yeah.
like this whole name. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say your name first. Like
sure.
if you're a bit worried about it, it's better than doing that.
Yeah, I would be not happy.
Good luck out there.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, but don't compare yourself.
No.
No way.
No, it's like easier said than done. But
Yeah.
you have to like take yourself out. And this, I feel like, is the catch-all for all of the advice we ever give. Is like, what advice would you give to someone else? You wouldn't be like, they're cheating on
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you best leave now. Like,
Yeah.
you would say, like, it's fine, all this and that. So you always
Yeah.
have to take your own advice in these
sure.
situations.
Yeah. And whatever, like, if your gut's telling you that it's something else, then, like, you just have to ask. Just be like, why has that happened?
Yeah.
More than once.
Okay. So, number 2, and this is quite long, so I'm going to try and not stutter. I think I have a crush on a new friend. They make a lot of effort to spend time with me, and I read it as flirting, but I could be misinterpreting the signs. I'm kind of self-sabotaging, I think subconsciously, to see if they'll stay. I'm still figuring out my queerness and have never properly dated a woman before, so that scares me. I'm feeling too nervous to tell them how I'm feeling because I'm scared of rejection and we're in the same friendship group. I don't know what to do.
Ooh,
That's
that's
really
a good
well read.
one. Yeah,
Thank
that was
you.
really
Thank you,
well read.
everyone.
What would I do? I always think, what would I do? But I think if you are picking up on a vibe, it's not usually because you've made it up. So there must be like some sort of like thing there. So I think I don't know if I would ask. Would you ask them? Not like straight up like, do you fancy me? But like,
oh, I don't know. I feel like I would try and orchestrate a situation where it becomes obvious either which way.
or like you just are straight up like, I fancy you a bit. And then see what their reaction is.
I had a friend, and I've been telling everyone this, I had a friend literally like 6 months ago tell me that like you need to assume that everyone fancies you until there's like a sign that they don't fancy you.
Oh, that's really good advice.
And I'm really trying that out.
Yeah.
And I'm always leaving space for that. And I feel like it gives people the confidence to actually explore things that they otherwise wouldn't.
Yeah,
like, I'm not
for
saying
sure.
to like get on the tune and be like, everyone in this character.
Yeah,
fancies
OMG.
me. I'm literally the hottest person,
Yeah.
but I think it is that if you're feeling the vibe,
Yeah,
the
it
confidence
must
is
be
there.
there,
There's
yeah.
something. Well,
Yeah.
it's like,
And it changes your behaviour as well because you
Yeah.
feel like confident to act on it.
Yeah, for sure.
We saw something else, and we spoke about it a while ago, and it was like, obviously with the restraints of if you're in a relationship, don't.
Yeah.
But like flirt with everyone, just see if you like catch a vibe that way. Because like if you're
I guess you
doing
wouldn't
it,
if you didn't.
yeah. And if they're doing something back, there's the difference between them not liking you and them liking you and not doing something about it.
Yeah, for
if you
sure.
can make that distinction, if you're in the same friendship group, like that might be the barrier as to why they're not doing anything. It might not be that they're not into you.
Was it that it was a new friend?
Yeah, new friend.
So maybe it's like
Making a lot of
not
effort.
as deep as if it was like a really old school friend, and it's like, oh, like maybe it's not as like scary to like put your feelings out there because it's not really, really like deep and solid. It won't ruin a friendship if it's a new one because it'll just be part of like the new friendship. So maybe I don't know. It is really hard to like speak your feelings, isn't it? But maybe just have a little flirt.
And we've all been
See
there.
what happens,
Like
yeah.
they probably, if they don't like you back, then they've probably been in that situation
Yeah.
too. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like realistically, like assuming that you're like a grown person,
Yeah.
like everyone's been in that situation and everyone just understands how it feels. So it's highly that they're going to be like, ha ha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
they're your
don't.
friend at the end of the day,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they're going to care about your feelings enough to let you down gently.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, I'm imagining you're probably not going to walk up to them and be like, I'm so deeply in love with you,
Yeah.
it consumes me. It's probably going to be
Yeah.
like, I think I have a thing for you. That's easy to, move past.
Lightly, yeah, for sure.
Even if you are in love with them, you don't necessarily have
Yeah, you
to.
don't need to be like, I'm so in love with you.
Like, like Shakespeare songs.
Yeah, just see what happens. I don't think shy. If they're giving you something, then I think just figure it out.
Yeah, because you don't want to miss the opportunity and then
Yeah.
like, they get into a relationship in 2 months, they marry that person and you're like, no.
Yeah, get it with me.
Love Rosie.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly like Love Rosie.
About Love Rosie.
I hate that. And now I want to watch it. And then finally, this is with no context whatsoever. This
Okay.
is just get a feel for it,
Okay.
and that's your answer.
Okay.
What tattoo shall this person get next? What do you feel? Like what
Ooh.
comes into your mind?
A palm tattoo.
Any reason?
A nice,
why?
just like a little, just a nice palm tattoo. Even though it really hurts.
You're going to go get that now.
I know.
Yeah.
I put that in.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, I want hand tattoos so badly.
You should go to Luke Ashley.
Really?
Yeah, he works at Aura 94 at the OT.
Ooh.
And he's really good. He did my palms and they've stayed. They've been in there for 6 years and usually they'll fall out.
Oh.
But he's the best at palms, yeah.
I've got hand envy right now.
I just can I have me?
So looking at the music you have released, we feel like you have a bit of a Adele-esque documentation of the stages of your life, me at 23. Firstly, this is a bit of a wider question. What do you hope to have achieved in the next 5 years?
Ooh, I hope to have built more of my music career independently because it is really hard.
Yeah.
And just to keep releasing music, I think, and then maybe have a baby.
That's so valid in there. Yeah. Like, you could put that in there.
Why not? And would you create another collection of songs that reflects a specific age for you again, or was that kind of a one-time thing?
I think I would. I don't think I'd call it like me at whatever age, but I think I would because it's all about, like, as you get older, you just learn so much more. So I think there's lots of things that I could write about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would actually. I think that's kind of what I do anyway. Like, it's always like in chunks of my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would.
I feel like some artists do really well with kind of having a project and like a really like specific, like, I'm going to write songs about this specific thing. And I think that really works. But I also think I find such satisfaction in seeing people be like, this is exactly how I feel right now.
Yeah.
And like, this is it. And I wonder if it's a bit more like satisfying for you to look at as well, and you can see the growth. Like, I feel like even in the songs that you have released so far, like, you can see the growth in your mindset and your outlook on things.
I think I like that progression because sometimes I find it hard to write about like stories. It's more about like things that I've actually felt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really, I haven't written a song that's not because it's like about something or someone that I know. So I think, that's how I write, I think.
Yeah.
And is there any songs that you wish you wrote?
Ooh,
or if you like can't, well, you can think of one, but or like alternatively, like any remixes you'd want to be on. Like, we're thinking like, you know, like the Brat remix album. Like, is there anything that you'd want to like hop onto a track or like?
I'd love to like be on a Justin Bieber song.
JB.
Yeah,
another JB.
I love Justin Bieber. Who else? Frank Ocean maybe. Something like not too like upbeat, not upbeat, but like dancey.
Yeah.
Or like electronic, because I don't feel like I'm like very electronic. It would be more of like a collab.
Yeah.
Is there a specific Frank song that you wish was like attributed to you?
Do you know Ivy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that song. I love that song a lot. Or like Godspeed.
Oh, yeah.
I could pair that with you. Should we just like rewrite the history?
Should I just like
put
message
your name on it? Just like claim all the royalties.
I'm sure that will bring him back and making stuff, won't it?
They'll bring him back. You DMing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like whenever we ask questions, we also kind of answer them for ourselves. I don't write songs, clearly. I wish that I wrote She Will Be Loved.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be an amazing song to have written.
Yeah, for sure.
And also Wildflower from Billy. Like, I just think that would have been a great song to write. Do you have any?
Well, I said that I think once upon a time I would have wished that I wrote Taylor Swift, You Belong With Me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think,
Oh my God, I
you know,
love
like when
that
that came out, I feel like I was like, I wish like that is my narrative that I wish I wrote.
Absolutely. I write songs using auto-tune because it like because you can't go wrong. You basically like don't feel shy or whatever. And singing You Belong With Me on auto-tune is literally the best thing ever. Like, it's just the best. Like, I just sit there for hours just like singing with it's so fun.
This is so like, it feels like we're on like a first date, but like, can we do karaoke with your auto-tune so that she's gagging to
It's
me auto-tune?
It's the best thing on earth.
Like, can we come over?
Yeah. No, literally, I'm like 2 seconds away from like everything that I do just being auto-tune.
This is really like niche, but did you ever see that video of there was a baby crying in auto-tune, and it was on Twitter years ago, and it was someone put like Stormy, like as a like Kylie Stormy, and it used to be her pinned tweet, but now I like picture like an auto-tuned baby
It's
as like
honestly
her
the best.
ringtone.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was just so good.
Yeah.
I feel like I do remember that.
It's very like niche, but I feel like if you heard it, like you can hear it in your head.
It never goes away. It always stays there. It's really interesting that you said that you've not really gone into like the dance.
Yeah.
Because we kind of felt that some of your music was a bit more like dancey.
I think it's like, it is dancey, but you know, like music like...
Bit synthy.
Yeah, synthy. Because I've done, I think 3 songs like recently that come out. They've been dance, but I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed that. But I think it's more of like the techno-y, like laser kind of thing.
Yeah, because we thought that you'd do really well on a track with Rose Gray. If you
Oh,
know
I
her.
love Rose Gray.
I think that'd be really
I think
good.
that would work. Yeah.
Liz has actually planned it for
My
you.
idea was she's got the song Hackney Wick.
Yes, it.
She could do the East London side of things. You could do South London side of
Yeah,
things.
makes
It would be like the girl so confusing. Like work it out on the remix, but of like the London area.
I love that. No, I love her. She's sick.
And also for future releases, is there any other sort of elements or production styles that you do want to incorporate or explore a bit more?
I want to I don't want to do like full on auto tune, but there is like I don't know how to explain it. Like I want to use tuning, but in like a stylistic way, because it sounds really like good. So I want to try that, but I don't want it to be like auto tuned because I don't like that sound. But I want to try like new vocal, like production things.
Do you feel like, because you have released quite a few collaborations recently, do you
yeah,
feel
I
like that has changed your creative process, like what it was before and what it was after?
I don't feel like it has. I think with the songs that I've done recently, they've been like pitch songs, so they've pitched them and then I've just sang them. So I didn't actually write two of the two recent songs. So I enjoyed that I was singing on it and not writing it, but I did miss, I still had to like add bits to it that like added to it. I did, I enjoyed doing it, but I think I would have enjoyed to write to the tracks as well.
Do you think there's like such thing as a formula for creative collaboration, or do you think it really depends on like base by base?
I think it really depends on like where your head is at. Because if you're like in a thing of like, oh, like I'm not good, like I'm not doing well, it literally blocks you up completely. So I think the only thing that I always apply is like being like, okay, what do I want to write about? What am I feeling? How do I feel right now? Because sometimes if I am sad, then I can write. But if I'm like just in like where I'm like doubting myself, I can't write at all. I'm just like, well, I'm not doing it then, it's not worth it.
Because you don't want to force yourself.
Yeah.
Either like suck all the joy out.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning of like starting to do music, I was in a session every day and I was just like, I don't have anything to say. So that did not work for me at all. I was like, I can't go in the studio every day because I'm really tired. I've got nothing to say.
I imagine it's quite draining as well to like write songs.
Yeah.
Like, even like when we do the podcast, I'm like when we sit and like chat for an hour, I'm like I'm tired because you bear so much and you're like documenting thoughts.
And also you've got like travel there and then also like mingle with people that you've never met before and like feel comfortable enough to sing on a microphone and then you're like, oh God, it gets a bit much.
Well, you know, this was so naive, but I would always think for like collabs, whoever you were doing the song with, you both just go into the studio and sit down and be like, so what should we write today?
I know,
and then only finding out more, it's like sending over verses and stuff. I'm like, damn.
For the last two songs, the features, I recorded the vocals at home by myself and then I said, because she's Japanese, but she lives in Texas or something, I think Texas. So I was just like sending over like the stems and like I hadn't even met her, I've only met her once. So that was I loved doing it with her. I think she was the perfect one to do it with. And I loved the songs. It's just, it was a different process completely.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
It feels like you have such a clear vision for the world of Josie Man. Is there an artist on the scene whose music aligns with your style and you could see either being an opening act for or maybe doing a shared tour?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me think. You know when you like can't think of anything?
And we were also like,
I listen
as we
to
said,
so many
like,
people.
we were like going through the questions, we were like, God, like this is really hard, but you can also like picture people who have done it. Like, you know, like Scissors Next Door, Kendrick Lamar, it's like, that makes it really hard to like put.
Yeah.
Oh, and Charlie and Troy, I forgot about that as well.
Yeah. Maybe Sophie.
I was just about to say
That'd be
that.
good, yeah. I'd love to open for Sophie. Who else? Lola Young, I love Lola Young.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
would love to see you guys on the same stage.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I don't know, there's so many people that I love. Sinead Aiko, but she's like pop star.
You never know.
slot.
Yeah, support slot, you know, a charity slot. I can't think who else.
I think those are good.
Yeah,
they're good.
And I'm aware that we're now asking you to name more people, but as part of tuning in, we asked our artists to nominate another female musician who you think our listeners should tune into? Do you have someone in mind for that?
Yeah, there's a girl called Chloe George. I just love her songwriting and her sound. I think she actually just opened up for someone. Is her name like Nemesis or
Maybe.
That rings a bell. We can
know.
get Becky to put it on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think where the letters are. You know, when your letters are muddled up.
Yeah.
But I just love her songwriting. I think she also did some writing on someone's album. I can't remember.
Well, just get a biography. We'll just get on there for you guys.
But I think I literally I'm all of her streams. No, she's got loads of streams, but I'm I listen to her so much. Yeah, I love her. She's sick. I think she's from the US though. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Suggestion.
And we're actually at the end of this episode, so thank you so much for coming.
This feels like such a dream episode to have done. Like it feels so last night we were like, God, I can't believe it's tomorrow.
It just
No,
feels
thank you
right.
for having me.
That's
and
all
it
right.
was really nice to be here. Thank you.
That's all right. And thank you to you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.